Say to you and all of us, my mind has never ever been to disassociate anybody, to push anybody aside. My idea has always been that we work together. Well, as sometimes in leadership, other people feel threatened. I still sit down and say the week with all of us to see how we can work. One reason why we are still at this level is because of some of the challenges we have had. Before I read what I have here, I'm somebody, I want to just take on one thing that really hit me and I don't like, and I want to say it so that we all can go. Liberia district, here present, officers and members of the National Lutheran Pastoral Fellowship, colleagues, and other people here present. I'm grateful to God for the privilege given me, or giving all of us, to serve this church in our different capacities. It is with great honor that I stand as your leader to address you today. The journey has not been very easy, as you all know, or may have heard, but God has stood with us to today and has been grateful. His promise of keeping us through even the rivers and the fire are sure, and we can tell you it has been. In this brief presentation, I have chosen to acquaint you with some of the happenings, engagements, and plans for the future. The first point I want to raise for you is the most recent issue that almost split our church, the indictment of the bishop. As you all know, as of September 8, 2024, I was indicted. And it caused a whole lot of chaos in this church. The LACC, the proceeding that created misunderstanding and frustration in the corners of this church. I am pleased to have you informed that the court trial was carried out and God delivered us all of it. All. And I and all of those accused were free of 49 different charges. So I'm no longer the indicted bishop. No indicted criminal. Over 30 years of ministry in this church, one of the greatest problems, and now I'm talking about ministers' tender life cases, which is now very, very hard right now. One of the greatest problems of this church is the payment of salary for ministers. Now, appointed ministers, because the idea is now the pastor. When this issue is fulfilled and is finalized, my understanding would be that even deacons and evangelists who are preaching will have some way of being compensated on the Sunday basis. Because, friends, all of us who are pastors will know that most of our report we generate come from our evangelists and our deacons. So if we don't care for them, they will say people not caring for us, we will still have problems. As chairman of the administrative committee, we drafted a salary structure approved by the Executive Council, but can be reviewed. That's what you agreed yesterday. We're looking at it. Should we stay that? Do we still want to be paid and $200 or on the in principle? We need to look at it and we'll look at it later. Our leadership dreamed the possibility of addressing the central pay system of all ministers. Dear brothers and sisters, why is our dream? It must be collectively embraced and implemented. The welfare problems faced by ministers are many and must be handled one at a time. Let me inform you that an account has been opened for this purpose. We must, as ministers, discuss how to fund this account. In my recommendation to you at the end, I propose some standards. No leadership can achieve some of these problems without the input of this fellowship. And if I always say the bishop, you can do all the pastoral fellowship or the ministerial fellowship, then you don't waste your time because these are people who are vital. And that's why I'm saying it here. So we all can look at it and see how we can do it. In this light, I ask for your full participation in the construction of the conference hall as part of the means to raise funds for this project. And that's what I'm doing first. As much as I want the point I'm raising, how we raise the money, the second one will be how parishes can contribute towards this fund. But we all must agree to it. I'm happy for the pastor, for the water project. I heard the president report. Yes. Okay. I'm happy to hear that great initiatives of the fellowship to engage in a self-sustainable program. In the discussion with the leadership, we have agreed to assist the project with some percentage for intake pension funding project. I'm appealing to all of us to have our parishes involved in this project. The project is not just for pastors. The project is to help pastors who are working in parishes. And if we don't, Mr. President, introduce this to our parishes and look for support from them as well, you can't get off in the office. Parishes will be able to support that project. Because that project will help them in caring for the pastors. Therefore, don't just limit it to the pastoral fellowship. Let us open it up. And as good as some of the people who are on the executive council are sitting down here and getting us, and so we can see how they all can be a part of it. Let me take this time to make some clarity on the DKI bill. One of the things that the pastoral fellowship won't beat my back for. When the thoughts of centralized pay system was green, the office of the bishop recommended to the executive council that the Tower Hill property, the DKI, be turned over to the central administration for the purpose of raising funds. This recommendation was approved by the executive council and the convention. We have assured the leadership of the pastoral fellowship that we will remember the fellowship when things are fine. Now, the project of taking over the DKI and the Tower Hill project is not perpetual. I may not be there. The reason why we want it right now is to help us facilitate the building of the conference hall. When that is done and the conference hall is running by itself, the pastoral fellowship is well organized and structured and doing their business, there should be no reason why they shouldn't take it. They should take it. We can work on the modality as we go through the process. But in that interim, if we raise $50 from DKI, we show that there will be a percent which we can discuss with the pastoral fellowship. If we raise $100 from the Tower Hill project, we can also discuss. While sending an account, but it's all safe for the pastor. While sending an account, amount goes to the central pay system in the bank, we can still give for operational purpose, sending an amount to the pastoral fellowship. It's not basically for administrative operation. No, it is for empowering the minister for how to promote the project we are dreaming for the minister. So we shouldn't further that. I pray. Minister of Welfare, brothers and sisters, take care of pastors and other ministers of the LCL still remain a problem. This challenge is not the fault of weak leadership, but a hope of the church that was not looked into many years before our time. We cannot continue to downplay this, for it has become one of the pillars of ministry that is crucial and needs attention. Gentlemen and ladies, I worked as pastor myself. The last time Pastor P was telling many people that we were in a parish and were raising $18,000 every 2 months. And they were paying the two of us $50 JJ that time. It's not today. I worked at Phoebe Hospital, with St. Luke Hospital, the big church, the St. Luke church. For my own state, they were paying me $75. When I left St. Luke, how much I would pay? $2,000 before I became chaplain. From that day, I've been fighting the issue of the centralized pay system. Because of my fight, That's what made Bishop Harry to maybe chairman of the administrative committee when we started developing this tentative salary structure. It didn't mean that is the most final, the best. No, it was to start something so that we can look into it for the future. Now here we are today discussing this issue collectively, structure-wise. Let us put something in the frame that even I can assure you from here, what good decision we take here, I can include it in my recommendation to the convention. Those are supposed to be there, and we move forward. So let's do the best we can. To begin addressing this, we have opened an account, like I told you, an endowment fund account with the bank to begin saving funds for the future of ministers. This account will be supported by all ministers and parishes. It shall be restricted. Funds received from the listed sources such as DKR, Tower Hill, parishes, individual, and others to be named will be restricted. It is my hope that each of our congregations and parishes will make an annual or quarterly deposit of an amount accepted by us here today. The dream of building a conference hall, like I said, is our first possible suggestion. In the general discussion, Mr. President, I'm sure that's what I want to be ready. What I want to discuss when we come there is, what do we think? Should parishes make contribution to that fund drive? If yes, how much would you think each parish can pay? And what is the duration of period? 1 year, every quarter, half a year, we can discuss it. So that when we leave from it, all the pastors sitting out here will make the Lord, our Lord will make it today. When we make it, it's binding on all of us. If we all want to be treated fairly on the salary issue, we all have to put ourselves into this process. One person can do it. Oh, Bishop said, and you look for salary, set it up. Bishop can dream the idea. Bishop and who cannot dream the idea. If the idea comes and all of us sit down, we see some force from it, let's correct it and see if we can move on with it. It's not cast in iron that cannot be changed. All we can do is make some corrections and move on with the fact. The next one I want to say is the constitutional conclusion. You've already started that. When people charge you with responsibility and they say, do this, do what you're supposed to do. Reverend Collins, B.B. Collins, he directed our attention. Never before in this church, before I read, have we ever gone to any church convention where the convention card book, the pastoral version is legal. But we are well respected by the church. And I think if that is the case, then the right thing to do is, can we fight to find some kind of way that we gain some scholars within the church? Because like you rightly said, we could plan all of these things. And I know Lutheran church. The people can destroy this thing and let's tell them woman, no, we can't do that because this is not like this. And everybody will take it, and we just do our whole dream on a cap. So, to concur with Reverend Collins, part of this authority that is given us, let's try to make it more formal. And I don't know how, but it's good that we have people like BBC and Mono who can help us. Fellow ministers, has gone a long hope of the future of the church has now reached in perspective. We have long hope for the time when clergy will have the opportunity to select leaders for the church. It was not a mistake. On the last convention of Dr. Bishop Emeritus Jason voted that the ministers of this church decide and submit to the convention the hair will. I caution you on a few things. One, that the rules should, we'll make rules, we're making rules for that, right? That the rules should not be targeted, should not target individuals. Sometimes we make rules looking at somebody. The rules should not be something to target. How somebody becomes a bishop should not be an individual target. 2, it should take away tribal sentiment. The Reverend sister was, oh, that penalty, oh, that never put that. I want to say one thing to all of us, and I'm glad I'm saying to you. This church belongs to everybody. As much as all of us, the tribal people, are not of the same number in the church, maybe the pastor goes smaller than the Gio people, or the Roman people, the Padmore more than the Roman people. Actually, even if the pastor people are just 15, they are component of this church. The day they decide that, no, we don't belong to the church anymore, because our class, no, whoever the leader will be, we have a split issue to deal with. Therefore, let's start. What is coming up in the air is wrong. It should not be practiced. That's the wrong statement. It's the person who is qualified based on his church status. Become. The Roman man is qualified, the Roman man is capable of the time, and the rules all the Roman man. If the Bulla man is there, the Bulla man. Let's stop being tribal sentiment, because it has a propensity to destroy this church. Mr. President, please in the show, talk to your pastor. The labor will bring it to us. We shouldn't buy it. Because everything has a standard. Many people believe people have been leaders, and not true. They're the first parliament. I thought parliament are the first parliament. People are saying mistakenly that I'm from Bible, I'm from Nissa, I'm better, I'm from... No. Everything has its time. And let us allow God to do what He's supposed to do. When we start doing like that, we bring His Spirit. The parable, we don't want to be dealing with parable which is wrong. We are not parallel church. Everybody says. 3, consider the view of the laity. Even though they have asked us to submit to President, whoever, Mr. President, will be on the committee, let's find some way how we can also consult the laity and get a view. That will be either done through the Executive Council, I don't know, but I think so. 4, one day, we may look into the possibility, and that's growth. Today, there's one person, one person, 2 months, right? And if that system grows so far, I got 2 ways of looking at it. That it don't renew the vision. Because even the conflict or split in our church is also surrounding, even from the parish council. The last 2 big parish council elections we had in Liberia this day, they were going to happen in Baka and Oklahoma. So if that rule affects the pastors for the bishopric and is successful, we have to drill it down. The last one I said it was possible. It will not be my time, it will not be the next bishop time, but let's try to drive it to the point that we pastors can even look at 2 persons, or we can say to the convention, look, of the 2, we think this is good. Then the candidates do, the pray good, and the resistance that will more ease the tension in this church community. Let us include everybody. Those of you who are in the community, the women are saying, I hope they're not poor. No. If women apply, they are qualified, they are qualified. What all of us are working towards from this stage is a church that will be peaceful, a church that will be coordinated with each other, a church that will understand for good. Not only leadership, but the church. I was also me. Our concern should not only be on presenting 2 candidates, but looking into the possibility of presenting 1 candidate for a more peaceful, and that's the time to come. Now to the order and discipline in the church. I come to remind you that the LCF is a church and not a club or a court. You say all of that, Sumo, when he just spoke about that. He said it in a different manner. I will come back. We must know that God is a God of order and discipline. Now is the time to restore these in the ministry of the church. Ladies are not exercising respect for and discipline among themselves and the ministers. The same way ministers are not also exercising respect and discipline for each other. Somebody is surprised to hear one minister from the other minister. You think, why people come? I say this from the day I say to you, this church is a church of discipline. And we must exercise discipline. If you don't exercise discipline, then I think then the church must take action. You can't continue with the way we go. Wherever I can't do it. I will not do it. The last time we met, I told you, I put it to you of Edwin Foremost attitude. Up to now, almost a year plus, Edwin has refused to listen to even the bishop. He walks over here. I want to assure you that when I leave this place, we have to suspend Edwin fully until he realizes that he's a pastor of this church. He can't be floating around carrying the title pastor ID. He's not working. Not because he doesn't have assignment that's all about what he has, but because he refused to be respectful and discipline himself. You send people to him, he does. I call him on my phone, he refuses to answer. He goes to America and tells the president, Bishop, pull me from Sunday with no reason. We can't continue. This church must be disciplined. The same way I want to say to you, pastors, and Small is a senior member on the executive council. We've been there for long. We also will not tolerate any parish council chairperson who feels that because they are council chair, he can do anything to the pastor. I say to you today, take it as your authority. The pastors are, the councils are administrative assistant to the pastor. They are not pastors. There can be no way they can lead. I said to them, no council can be reported to the pastor or the bishop. It's pastor who can report to the bishop. I'm fighting the fight for St. Peter's, one of the churches we have, who believe that the pastor can now be an asymmetry totally account of the church. And they even believe that the school is outside the church, the pastor. That is not correct. I will take it at a convention and I'll look for your support. Because if it becomes effective as St. Peter's, which we call our mother church, it will flow on down. And we cannot allow it. If I don't achieve anything during my time, that's one thing must be heard and implemented. Many churches believe it, many churches accept it, but the head church, St. Peter's, think that it is wrong. That's not the right thing to do. But that is the right thing to do. If you follow the history of how the parish council take things into our church, if you go to the biblical Bible, which I can give you, one in the Old Testament, when Moses found the Lord called him and said to Moses, hey, look, you got nothing to do. Hey, I'm going to do the other one that you do the one. He didn't say to Moses, you are subject to the people, but you are above them, but they must help you. I'm just paraphrasing. Come to the issue of Stephen. Come to the issue of Jesus. The disciples there, but they were all Jesus were all the head. We represent Christ, and we must be the head. We must fight. And that's the issue of our raising the talk about. The pastors, conducting the parish council and parish convention. I want to be with it. Very good. So that we'll be familiar with points that we can discuss with our people. In conclusion, I want to inform you of the bishop's home. I want to apologize to you that it has dragged a long time. The time we expected it to have been finished was not done. Well, I don't want to tell you some of the reasons why. I don't want to shift blame. I will take it. But I can assure you that up to this point, they are now putting in the light facing and light bulbs in the building. Our dream is that we will dedicate that building before going on to doing the partners meeting. Or the GS. We will insert in that program after the doing the partner meeting. We will want to dedicate that building. At the convention, we will also find a time to dedicate the new upper Richland theater that is built in Sosa and Corinth. So, some more way, let's talk about it and let's work with the GS to see how they are independent. But the business compound is almost finished. The question somebody asked me who was a pastor, is that your own place or for the church? It's not my own place. It's for the church. Tomorrow my time is out. Whoever becomes bishop, if they wish to lay there, fine. If they wish to lay where they want to lay, the church will pay their rent and rent out of it, fine. It is LCL's product. Not for me. It's not for me. Is that okay? Let me close so you can ask me one or two questions so we can discuss until then. I'll move. We're going to have a conversation with the bishop. In conclusion, there are ups and downs in assignment. There are also upcoming assignments. I'm not going to list them here today. I am so grateful to all of you, pastors, deacons, deaconess, and the laity for your service to this church during my time. I urge you to keep dreaming on things that will help this church and that individual, or things that will divide the church. Because the time we have is passing. We don't have time in our favor. And so in my concluding statement, I also want to inform you that give lawyer. Don't give lawyer, please stand. No, not because give lawyer is my son. Give lawyer is working to implement one of our dreams. We are all looking for the time when we'll be able to support ourselves. I told the church and I told you that we embark on the farming process in Henry. We made rest farm and made rest squats. During the visit of the evangelism team in Henry, I had the script in mind. We launched the planting of the first farm of coffee. We planted coffee on almost 20 acres of land. We just launched it. Abraham left me and went there and picked up the deed for the local district. He went and made sure the parishes completed that plan. We all gave them permission, which was wrong for good. But our church when we get totally apart, they engaged in the version of the second farm, which is bigger than the first farm. Okay. Yeah. And the second farm, by now I'm sure, is either completed or is failing, or is almost. And that second farm, we will plant rice again, and we'll plant the next 20 or 25 acres of cocoa this time. If we had the opportunity, the third plan for Gilbert and myself is, he's telling me, we can't really do this. If we had the opportunity to plant another 20, with all pound of a plantation that will have coffee, cocoa, and palm in the hand. It's coming on good. We planted over thousands of cocoa seeding. They tell me that not more than 5 died. So that's progress. Thank you, Reverend Yang. I'm not doing certificate. People can say that they only give us a certificate, but I want to say thank you. Because what they did, he and the dean, they went there with any pattern. They would say, I go for charity, any pattern, no pattern. At some point, they pay their own way and provide their own food. That's what we need to do. Where we are able, let's do what we are able. It's not what I will get out of it, but how will this church survive? That's the point we need to have. I must admit to you, besides what I said earlier, I want to tell you thank you. Nobody is my enemy. Either we are best friends. Most of you know what ordained after me. I was both here. I can't. My real interest is, I just said what we said. I know it was BBC who said, we should not get people who should look for the best people, go through the process, scrutinize it, or look for what more people to come. And maybe since our church don't have the means to support us, that's why other people get encouraged to come. But you all have done your best to work in the situations and conditions where you were assigned and to stay strong and have the church going. I must say thank you. The administration of the Lutheran Church for the service also say thank you.